Oh,
And we are live, almost right on time, maybe a few seconds late. I didn't know if I was going to make it all that well. It really depended on car repairs. So, a whole lot of different people here today. We've got American Patriot, who was, even some of you might have heard, Fubel is here as well, Crab, our good friend Armor, and Tanky, who's hiding in the corner. I don't know if
Never.
Guardsman. I'm not
Playing
sure
with
if
himself.
Guardsman's is going to show up. So many. We're going to try to talk about dynasties today and families and family trees. Well, maybe not the family trees because that gets very, very, very confusing.
oh yeah.
But if we look at Battletech, there is a lot of, big noble blood, let's say, floating around.
Excuse me.
And everybody's got their own favorites and their own people that they don't like. And some of those families are more represented than other in the plot, and some of them get bigger over time. They were like pointless for the longest time, and then someone woke up while they were writing Civil War, and they were like, maybe you should do something with the Sandovals. They're supposed to be important.
Don't forget the ones that they kind of just forgotten about.
Oh, there's also
Hi,
quite a few of those.
Kelswas.
There
Yeah.
you go. That's
Well,
a good
the
example of
Kelswa
Kelswas.
family, took over from the Tamar family, and
then there's the ones that got eliminated.
Yeah, well, that happens in those kind of struggles all the time. So at least that makes a little bit of sense.
Well, the
a
Tamars
minute, this-
still do exist. They're just no longer a major house anymore. I think the highest title they've got is Baron or maybe even Count. Because there are still some Tamars that serve in the Lyrian Commonwealth Armed Forces. You'll see their names pop up every now and again in the lore books.
I was gonna say, weren't the GDL working kind of for the new version of the GDL working for one of the former Temerians?
Yes. You also have
The only
like the Lestrades. A lot of Aldo Lestrade died, and they lost their dukedom and control of the Isle of Skye. But there are still Lestrades. I think the highest title that their house currently holds is that of a count, but they're mostly known for being barons and a barony because of Lestrade, the Lestrade companies that they own is where their political power exists now, outside, which is basically no political power. They're just an economic company, corporate power now.
All right. What was it? What was that you were wanting to say, Becky?
the only minor noble families I care about are the ones in the Marian hegemony. I want to know about the O'Sullivans and the O'Tooles who serve alongside the O'Reillys.
Those I don't know as much about. I'm sorry.
There is.
I really don't think. I really don't think there are a lot of noble families in the Marian hegemony.
Or no, that might be the opposite.
Well,
there might be a whole lot of them.
Yes, there
are. Do they have any value?
A noble is anyone with money and slaves.
Yes, in the Marian hegemony, this is one of the reasons why. One of the earliest groups that I did the research on was that section of the periphery, because my campaign back in the 90s was all about building our own periphery nation state, which was the March World's Republic, which was the Marian hegemony, the Illyrian Palatinate, the Logan League, and the Centauri Federation, all made into one big new state.
Well, then again, the Marians, you're saying dead, but they've mostly been incorporated in the Marian hegemony.
Yeah.
As of
and then
after the jihad, basically.
Yeah. I was gonna say, but for the most part, they're all dead factions.
Yeah.
And then there was the Circinius.
Circinius. Well, they sided with the jihadis, and bad thing happened to them.
Yeah, they're now
they are
now pretty much a dead world, which sucks.
The Regulans like to just liberally use cobalt bombs on everything, so that explains a lot.
Yeah, I think every 10 years or so, the Regulans make a pilgrimage there just to drop a bomb. Say, "Fuck you, man! Fuck you."
They have a poster of Douglas MacArthur up in every command circuit. Do you see him? That's General MacArthur. He's the patron saint of cobalt bombs.
I will be back.
A lot of the noble outs in and out of the inner sphere are not recognized outside of their own realms. I doubt that would be the case after the Star League, your seat at the table. The thing is, the Star League kind of is what codified this whole system that they're going with, basically. There's a reason why there's dukes, counts, barons, arch princes, and princepts, and all those things in every state, because it not only gives some legitimacy to every single of those leaders, but it also codifies and standardizes every discussions you have in regards to nobility in the inner sphere.
But it also fell back. Feudalism came back into being because remember, before hyperpulse generators, it would take anywhere from weeks to months to get a message just a few systems away. Thus, the use of the feudalism system, which is a federalist system, which had localized the power under umbrellas of patronships, and that they felt that was the best way of ruling an interstellar nation state, so they could enforce their loyalty. And one of the easiest ways to do it was to reinstating patents of nobility and feudalism with marriages and dynasties to keep everybody loyal to each other.
There's also another advantage to it that people sometimes put aside here. In a feudal system like this, most of those colonies in early Battletech history were small to very small. You're talking thousands to 10,000s. Usually in these kinds of situations, you will have a small group of people will be the military, and in the end, that military / police / all of that here is going to be the center of your nation state, in a way, because if you don't have a military, you're basically not recognized as a state. And a lot of those, after the first migration, I can't remember exactly what they call it. Basically, humanity, there was the Terran Alliance, and they kind of messed it up, and they sent a lot of people everywhere. And very quickly, it devolved into like local rebellions and things like that. In these kinds of situations, you will have local warlords take over, just because they're going to be there to ensure protection of everybody else. And even if they're not your main political power, they're going to end up being, the de facto power. They're not going to be the de jure power, because there might be an elected president and a prime minister and something like that. But if the military decides to take him over, well, that's just it, right?
Professor, Hellkite is asking me for a link.
What? Hellkite?
Hellkite? Hell yeah, bring him in.
That's gonna be terrible.
Yeah, regarding the warlords, to quote Chinese history, heaven is high and the emperor is far away.
That is
Romano's here.
Yeah.
Might makes right.
Little stealth bushwhacker pilot coming up in here unannounced.
Bushwhackers.
I'm sending it to Elkite. Just done. This is going to be a huge panel. Not everybody's going to have a whole lot to say, but that's okay.
I was told that there were going to be Oreo double stuffed cookies, and so far I have not seen any.
Do you want Kit Kats? I've got about 12.
I do like Kit Kats.
Kit Kat bars.
Do you have 12 tons of Kit Kats at the back of your truck?
Yeah. I gotta get rid of them somehow, man.
I have 35 tons of steel coils. Or
That's
steel
a good
powder.
trade. Steel versus Kit Kats is a good trade. That's the kind of trade you'd have in the Inner Sphere in those early days. Argyle saying that it was a first fun motorcycle ride of the year. Going to be cold again next week. That was us last week here. Actually, start of the week here was stupidly cold compared to the week before. It's going back to normal now, so it's not too bad. When it takes a year or more to send an order or an equest, it's not back to fall back to a feudal system. And seat at your table, you are right about that in many ways. And your quote about Chinese history is also right, because that's the reason why local warlords and local military lords were omnipresent in Chinese history until 1946.
Today.
Last week.
I'm really here tonight to learn the lore, because I have kind of fallen off on my Battletech lore.
This is deep lore that we're going to be talking about here. Not
let's go for it. I'm
this
here to hang
factory
out.
builds this thing like I usually do in my videos.
Yeah.
This is the deeper lore that we're going to go over.
This is the stuff that was in the house books that nobody read.
I did. I love them.
Those are some of the better books out there.
The first editions were amazing. It's one of the reasons why I get so upset with all these identity politics chuckleheads that sit there and go, "Oh, we did this first. We did this first." And I'm like, "No, you didn't. There was same-sex marriage characters in the first edition that were mentioned."
There's crazy stuff all over the place in Battletech. Let's be quite honest.
Yes, and it frustrates me that these idiots of today don't know none of this stuff and keep acting like, "Oh, this is diversity and everything." No, you're forced.
Severn. We don't know who what they're dukes of, but they're dukes descended from the illegitimate children of Mikhail Marik. That was a disgrace, though, so probably removed from power. Oh boy, that's a deep house. Oh boy. But if you look at, we're looking at the great worlds of dynasties here. China had a lot of dynasties, but if you look at Chinese dynasties, a vast majority of them are, well, there was that warlord who decided that he actually was going to be emperor. So he was emperor for his generation and the generation after. Then someone betrayed him, and he
the mandate emperor. Of heaven was lost.
Yes.
The thing is, the mandate of heaven was really easy to lose, wasn't it?
Yeah. It literally was a might makes right type
but,
system.
No, the mandate of heaven for a little while was actually a seal. The imperial seal was literally the mandate of heaven. So, yeah. But how do you lose the mandate of heaven in real life? Basically, if it's basically the same as good old regular politics. I mean, if you don't have the support of the population and you don't have the support of the military, well, you lose the mandate of heaven.
How do you lose the mandate of heaven? Do literally none of the things that we voted you into office to do.
Yeah, that's a very accurate statement. Back in the days, you didn't vote them, into place.
we have the Yellow Turban Rebellion in the West. At the Battle of the Roaring Rivers, 2 million die. Mandate of heaven has been lost, falling into yet another warring stage period.
Yeah.
When you think about it, it is just multiple succession wars in Chinese history.
Yeah. Chinese history is really odd because of, China's not a country. in the end. I mean, it's a combination of a lot of countries that remerged together, and nowadays they pretend they've been this thing for 5,000 years, but I mean,
China is a globally recognized yet simultaneously illegitimate land occupation government. Shout out the Republic of China, the real government of China.
We love our proper Chinese government and faction.
there we go.
I'm not crying. You're crying.
But I mean, you've got you. But I mean,
And the stream is shut down.
I mean, the stream was demonetized the second we started talking about dynasties, because I mean, nowadays in the U.S., are there dynasties? Yes, there are. The Bush, the Clintons,
Kennedy still.
The Kennedys have now 2 houses and they're fighting each other. It's
nothing bad ever happened to a Kennedy.
Bring up how in the Dune universe how they view World War II through their lens of dynasties and trade negotiations.
Well, but I mean, there's other big families in the U.S. There's a lot of families that are just been there since forever, and they have a whole lot of money and a whole lot of power, and you don't notice them until they start rocking the boat. We've seen that with what's her face, that one singer that got into the face of a little girl that just wanted to know if it was actually her
Chappelle.
at a restaurant. Yeah. Digging into Chappelle.
The stream just the derped.
Stream reset.
It derped.
Stream reset.
There we go. I think we're back.
Jinzhihou, Bingqiling, Xinjiang is a peaceful territory. Whatever you must be.
Ottoman Square.
Didn't happen.
Tiananmen Square was
yeah,
a
no,
CIA
I think it's my internet that's having issues. I think it might be because we've got people, and I don't know. I'd have to double check. But
yeah,
I mean, Chappelle Rowan. Once you start digging into her poor family history, you learn that like her family basically owned like an entire, not a province, but an entire county.
Papa Gundam does a because he stays up on this pop cultural type stuff that honestly normally would have just gone under my radar, but because it was Papa Gundam, I'm like, hey, I gotta watch this. And oh wow, you're right. It's her grandpa owned pretty much anything you could possibly own in a county in the middle of nowhere, Missouri.
Which is still, quite a bit of money and power.
I mean, golf courses. Yeah. He's got real estate. Well, you're from Missouri, so you probably are more familiar with it.
What county? County was as we derail even further.
Well, that's not really derailing because it is dynastic talk. I mean, a lot of those counts, dukes, barons, brothers-in-laws,
another
and things
good
like that
too. The girl from Acolyte.
Oh yes, you are 100% right. What's her name? That great woman, yeah, Dutch, and what was it? Dutch.
Amandla Steinberg.
Yeah, Steinberg. Yes.
Okay, so
rich Dutch background. I mean, there's in Europe. There's still quite a few people in the nobility, and there's quite a few people that are still benefiting from nobility, and I'm actually perfectly okay with that personally. The problem is when they say that they are all for the poor people and the little guy and everything, and in turn, then you learn like, oh well, you're actually from the Dutch nobility. Well,
I am all for the poor people having free energy and free power. Okay, so you support building nuclear power plants. Oh no, nuclear is bad. Oh, because that's how we would get free power and free energy. But hey, go off, second cousin of the Queen of Denmark.
All right, so preliminary reconnaissance.
Mm-hmm.
She is from Willard, Missouri, which puts her in the Springfield Plateau of the Ozarks. It's a flatter region. That's where you start getting out towards the Oklahoma, Kansas flatland.
Mm-hmm.
ain't the richest part of the state, but you're right outside Springfield, so there's a lot of regional money there. It ain't Branson,
Oh, bruh.
but nonetheless.
Yes, Cobra
I
is
mean-
based off of Springfield. One
Yep.
of the
I
Springfield.
mean, he did like a ton of wealth management, stock investment, portfolio management, real estate buying, dealerships. I mean, he had his hands in all kind of
Yeah.
stuff.
And that's also before you start talking about all the messy money in the Ozarks. There's a reason why it's a meth capital.
Old money equates power. Yes, entirely.
One of the
Yeah.
things that got me was the fact that there is a House Rothschild that is within the
In
inner sphere.
Battletech?
Yes, it is.
I mean, it is. We laugh right now, but it is a common enough name in the grand scheme of things, and it would still pop up. It would still pop up like in the 80s if you were the Battletech people making the game. That kind of name would pop up if you were doing like research on historical rich families and historical powerful families. So it's normal that they would include it. They would probably, back in the 80s, you'd have no idea who the Rothschilds actually are. But you'd include them in a thing like Battletech because, well, they seem
he's some lord.
influential.
He's some lord in the British House of Parliament. Sounds good. Let's go today. Oh wow! I mean, there is.
Wow,
we do
he's
have
actually the
Krupp.
one running House. He's the one running House Davion. Oh, that explains a lot.
We still have Krupp in Battletech, and even though I don't think there are any surviving members of the Krupp family, they're still around.
There are still Krupps around, and they
Oh.
still do have positions within the company. It's just the fact that they're minor. I think they just keep them around because of the historical connotations of it.
I mean, the Rogers family in Canada.
The Krupps have been going on since since a little bit after Beretta, I think. That's a dynastic arms manufacturer.
Yep.
Like I was saying here, the Rogers family in Canada who own basically the telecoms.
They own the internet here.
That's basically it, right?
And credit card stuff because they do all the payment processing.
And cell phones, and it adds up really quick.
Guess where
So now
Rothschild is based out of?
Where?
Free Worlds League.
No. You're in the right neighborhood.
Lyrans.
No.
The Marian.
They're
where are they out of?
But they're in the neighborhood of the Free Worlds League. Come on.
Magistrates.
Does it help if I said meow?
We got somebody said Canopus.
Yeah, Canopus.
Yes.
Of course,
because Hedgewick.
But no, that would be
Rothschild.
They probably got kicked out of everywhere and ended up in Canopus. That's the kind of thing that would happen. Because the power structure in the inner sphere is very. It's flexible but rigid at the same time, and you do see major differences between the houses. Even though, like I was saying, you have dukes, you have counts, you have barons, you have those titles that are more or less in stone. And if you go somewhere as a duke, well, you are going to be expected to be treated as a duke. If Duke Kelsua decides to take a trip to anywhere in Auscarita space when they're not at war, if you're at war, it's not a good idea to do that. But if you're not at war and you show up in Curita space to do whatever, you're going to be expected to be treated as a duke and have your ducal accommodation, let's say, floating around. And
I can't remember the Curitan who was the heir to the Combine, who got liquored up, had a really major bender, and went going through the Lyran Commonwealth looking for his illegitimate kids, and almost started a war during the Star League era.
I mean, that wouldn't be too terribly surprising.
Because when he was younger, he would go to various party worlds throughout the inner sphere, but it seems that he was more obsessed with the partying he did when he was in the Lyran space than anywhere else. that was a crazy bit.
The biggest oust technically was Oust Cameron in terms of how influential they were. It was Oust Cameron. So we can have a quick discussion about that in a way. It's nice that they do put the historical background on it. Ewan Cameron, ennobled by James Fort of Scotland in 1505. Well, that's precise enough. We know clearly where the Camerons are from. We could technically, dig up from there what we need to know. Now, where were they really in history? Well, Canada and the US are basically merged in Battletech as of like the start of the 21st century. So joking that the Camerons are Canadian, it kind of makes sense. Same with the McKenna. But that would also mean that the two biggest houses or the most representative houses in the Terran Hegemony, the McKennas at first and the Camerons that took over after, both of them were Scottish.
Mm-hmm.
Was there a bit of Scottish preference in there?
Well, considering the fact one of the you've got the Northwind Highlanders, which is one of the most prestigious of mercenary units that actually predated the Star League Defense Force. It's the only military force in Battletech that is older than the Northwind Highlanders is the Illyrian Order.
Illyrian Lancers, or
yeah, because they're based off of the order that was in Malta. That's the oldest continuous military unit that is still in operation in the Battletech universe. It's one of the things that always got me was the fact that, I'm sorry, if I was to do it, I would have had the comm guards, the core of the comm guards, based off of Terran military units of the various Terran nation states. But
hi, Elkite.
Well, the SLDF was.
The SLDF was based off local militaries, while the comm guards, I mean, they're comm guards. They're weird.
Well, the comm guards didn't really come into existence until the
Second Succession War. Second Succession War.
But
before that, it was more, we have the guys, but we don't know what to do with them, kind of thing.
Right, and then they mothballed them all, except for like a couple regiments.
What is interesting? What is interesting about Oust Cameron is just how they keep saying that they're extinct in many situations, but they really aren't, because unless Amaris went around and killed, people on a million different planets, things would be difficult for him to do.
And that would have also been really difficult for him to do because House Windsor Cameron is still around.
Cameron Jones is still around as well.
Yep.
Oh God, another Habsburg.
Uh-huh. The Habsburgs are always around. Probably, there's probably Habsburg blood in every noble family in the inner sphere, including in House Carita and in House Liao and in House O'Reilly for some reason. There's bound.
What about O'Connor and O'Sullivan and O'Toole and O'Rourke and O'Malley?
Those I'm not as sure.
So they might be untainted by the Habsburgs.
Yeah, but they might also all be related to each other. They equally hate each other, but they're all related.
And that's why they hate each other.
That only family can have.
Hell yeah.
Surprisingly, the Cameron Jones are from a distant cadet family of House Cameron. I don't think they would have any claim on the Terran Hegemony at that point.
Oh no, but they do have the they
The
could
Duchy
use,
of Regulus, the place where they manufacture more cobalt bombs than battle mechs.
well, the one thing about the Cameron Jones family is the fact that if you're trying to trace and prove if somebody's a Cameron, Cameron Jones is one of the ones that you would have to go to because of the matrilineal DNA.
Oh dear.
Probably.
Oh no.
Well, I mean, there's not that many other major Cameron outshoot that we know of.
Well, you do have Windsor Cameron, which is basically the House of Windsor that married a Cameron, and thus they changed their surname to Windsor Cameron.
It would make sense at this point in the history of Battletech, let's say, because the Camerons were more influential than the Windsor would be at that point.
Because remember, they're instead of being a royal house in Battletech at this point, they were their own dukedom on Earth. And
well, yeah, they were just a province of the Terra, not even of the Terran Hegemony. So, in all, they are not very influential at that point.
Remember, each of the worlds, except for Terra, was ruled by a duke. Except Terra. Terra had multiple dukes because each of the big major sections was ruled by a duke. And
Duke's the highest you can be before you can be, anything else in Battletech in terms of your nobility, I think.
Yes. You've got Archduke, Grand Duke, and Duke. Those are the progress from.
There's a progression of the dukishing.
Yeah, from highest to lowest: Archduke, Grand Duke, Duke. You also have princes, which can either be on level with a duke or one of the levels of dukedom.
But at this point, you can. The thing is, you might have a different title than a duke, but you will be at the same peerage as a duke.
Yes.
So
I'm trying to. The research,
which is why the Davions have a first prince rather than a prince or anything else, because
which is just giving name to what he is, as opposed to just they're all princes, which could make him more of a target.
Well,
I mean,
originally the Federated Sons was multiple principalities. You had each of the leaders of the different marches was a prince, and the leader of the Federated Sons had the title of First Prince. That's where that came from. I'm trying to remember.
The Davion family 3 is also an interesting one.
Yes, it's the only house that comes close to the number of cadet branches that House Marik has.
Yeah, House Marik is also. It's because there's the Davions of Richbrook, the Davions of Lee, the Davions of Royal, the Davions of Victoria. Yeah, there's a lot of different families.
House Davion Karita.
Yes.
We don't talk about Omeko and Big Dick Vic.
No. There is an actual House Davion Karita.
No, Davion Karita came about because of
Soda Karita and Mary Karita decided
Mary
to marry,
Davion.
and it made House Davion Karita.
Yes, and it is extinct. It went extinct because
I would assume the Sandoval. Oh no, okay. Oh well, our good friend Amaris decided to have their way with him. Oh well, that's
yes.
That's pretty darn awful.
Drago
Garrus did nothing wrong.
Drago Karita was actually Drago Davion Karita.
Yeah.
And the only surviving members of Davion Karita were these two elderly dudes that didn't have no kids.
Does that mean that it is important to get married when you're having you're having a dynasty?
Yeah. It looks like they go back into the main line. Go back to the.
No, they died out.
Oh
no, they die out completely. This is the Davion Karita family 3. Drago and Iragi get married.
Okay.
Joseph, Joanna, 2, and Loga. All of those 6 get killed by Amaris.
Yeah.
Thomas, we don't know much about.
Remember, Minru Karita.
Fought in the Battle of New Roads where his unit saw defeat and he committed seppuku because he's an idiot. Okay.
Remember,
there's also
Minru Karita, the only reason why he did not throw hands during the Amorous crisis was his dad, who had the heart attack when he found out Drago and them had all been arrested by Karita, forced him to give his word of honor that he would do whatever it took to get Drago and his family back. Because Minru really wanted, he had no love for the Star League, but he did not much care for Amorous and what he did. And he would have loved to have basically told the Draconis Mustard Soldiery, we're throwing in with in on this fight because it'll prove our superiority.
It probably wouldn't have joined Kerensky. He probably would have fought on his own own side. But I mean,
enemy is my friend.
Yes, in huge situations like this, not always. Outdiving outs are always interesting as well because you have to look like it's nice. Well, they do go back to Aus Karita, to Kiro.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
Yeah, to Kiro goes back,
but that's actually above the House Davions because Soto is Takiro's brother.
Okay.
That's why I was confused also.
Okay. Takiro, he actually was coordinator to begin with. Okay. So Soto and Mary get together. They have 3 kids. Vincent has 2 kids. Quentin has 1 kid. And Chada never did anything. Okay. But this is an important thing in all dynasty and dynastic discussions. Having kids is pretty important.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, having kids in general is important.
Yes, but when you're the ruling property,
obviously the bank.
Yep.
Fuck it. Who am I kidding? Bank's gonna inherit the house. Government's just gonna inherit the debt and subsidize it.
Argyle, previous king of the Viltrumites, has it right.
Well, the enemy of my enemy is my enemy's enemy. That is the most accurate.
That's my thought on the entire Middle East situation.
It's my thought on many situations, to be quite honest. But if you look, oh crap! I closed Aus Davion itself. I'll have to
Control Shift T.
Control Shift T reopens. It does. So I can go back. There we go. Interestingly enough, if you look at current CGL is what we're looking at here. None of the current lords and none of the current ladies have children.
Nope.
And none of them are. There's only one that technically can still have children. It makes sense.
Just make them trueborn, bro. It worked for the Steiner Davion dynasty.
Which is the one that can actually have
Julian. Julian's 50? Well, he's 43.
Crab nose.
He has 43. He's 43. So as a man at 43, having kids is still pretty easy.
Yeah, but as
what's
Armor
her
and
name?
Crab here know, we have something in store for him.
Stop being mean to him. Jeez, you
We're
guys
not
are
being mean. We're just
Trillion's younger than him.
500 IATM missiles.
5.
Yeah, Trillion Steiner is younger than him. Yes, you are right.
2 million drones.
And then
at 42,
I thought Nicola was actually younger.
Wait,
one of them is
wait,
born in 3112. I just can't remember which
Is
one.
Julian Davion Zaphod Beeblebrox maxing?
Is he what?
Zaphod Beeblebrox, the president of the galaxy from Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
Because he's
Who
dating
is?
Trillion?
Oh, he may actually be doing just that.
Trillion?
Trillion
opposed
is
to
42. You're getting in the range where it's difficult to have kids.
No, it's actually
she's a
perfect.
spinster.
No, it's actually perfect because we all know the offspring of effective leaders are always mongoloids. Let's just make it genetically more likely to happen.
Nicola's a little bit younger. She needs to have a kid like now in the meta plot, and she's not
Danny's
married.
younger
obviously.
than her, I thought.
She only has a few eggs remaining before it's so over for her.
And she's
It
only-
doesn't
your
matter.
Karita
She gets the
is
rope too.
3013. Okay. She also needs to marry like now and have children like now if they want to keep going. And in the case of Kurita, it's literally if they want to keep going because they literally killed everybody in House Kurita.
Katarina proved to the rest of the spinster dynastic female
have one
leaders
more.
that you don't actually need to worry about that.
Yeah,
Danny.
you can just have trueborn kids.
This is CGL's. This is New Writer's plan all along. The dynasties are going to die off because their kids are too busy running government and just generally not having kids.
They
So
girl
that's
boss
the
too
plan.
close to the sun.
There is one hair where it hasn't been born yet.
And you
Who?
will not.
Dao Shan.
Oh, that was Shen Yen. That latest in the Great Adventure, he had a illegitimate son or kid.
Yep.
We don't know if it's a son or daughter.
No, we ain't cloning. We ain't doing cloning. We ain't clanners. We do it right.
I was gonna say they keep having
do it
freeborn
right.
kids and eventually
Actually,
just morph
no.
into
The
clans.
mask actually put this girl in the position to make sure there was a hair.
yes.
So long as the Korean line still has Razelhog blood in it because that's funny, so be it.
Well, it has Kurita line as Russell Egg blood from Ileana Sorensen.
Sorensen and the McAllisters, yes.
So the Irish and the
I'm not invading that house now.
The Swedes.
the Irish and the Swedes got together and they married a Japanese guy, and it made the Aus
Finland.
Kurita Sorensen.
Finland.
And then they remarried with the Sorensens. Well, 4 way downs, which is not too bad. Okay, 4 ways down. No more than that. 6 ways down. I mean, at that point, there's no consanguinity, so it's fine. It's fine.
Well, that's one of the reasons why, if you'll notice on the Free Racial Hog princely families, the Sorensens show up there as well as the McAllisters, because they're still major movers and players in Racial Hog, and which is weird because you had members of the family that remained with the Draconis Combine, and those that went with Free Racial Hog as well. So those are literally houses divided on themselves, and it's wild.
Technically, Kitsune Kurita had 2 daughters. We don't know anything more about it. So maybe the entire Kurita bloodline will not die out if Yori dies.
Well,
But they
they're
will
also
be in
saying
the deep
that,
periphery.
they're also saying Daisuke is still alive.
Daisuke! Yeah,
Daisuke.
I say that every time I watch Fast and the Furious.
That's a baby
Daisuke.
actually survived.
It's a KE at the end, not KI. saying he's still
everyone
alive?
loves Suki.
Yes, at the end of in the Shadow of Dragon, they did make the hint that they were going to be tracking.
Well, that's what they're saying. That's what they're saying here. Yeah. So,
Yes.
I mean, House Kurita still has a hope. I mean, Yori could marry Daisuke and make a more perfect Kurita.
Or Kitsune's daughters.
Well, no, because I mean, she could marry one of Kitsune's 2 daughters, but that wouldn't give you a kid.
Eyes in the dark.
No,
that wouldn't give you a kid. That's a problem.
Remember,
I meant Daisuke.
Yeah, because I think the daughters are like really young.
But that would be. It would be what? Like they've got the same
3 gens.
It's legal in some places in the U.S., like California. It's fine.
Well, at least
the fact that cousin marriage is more legal in California than it is in Alabama. Uncommon Alabama W right here. Fuck you, liberal coastal cards.
They have to account for the Muslims, man. They do it in Australia.
Is true. There are more Muslims in California than there are in Alabama.
Yeah. Remy Luna, that's basically what we're trying to talk about now. The current leadership is all over the place in many ways, unfortunately.
Well, the House Centrella and the Magistry of Canopus dynasty is wild because it's all tracked from the...
There's a lot of very weird stuff with that one, yes.
Because the female line is how they trace it in the Magistry. So the male is pretty much doesn't matter. That's why you've got House I don't know if I'm saying this right. Rathenir.
Mm-hmm. Raventir, I think it would be the way to say it.
Because that's where they get a lot. That's their primary military house. That's where they basically get their best fighters from. That they keep, and they keep intermarrying with the House Centrella. And but there are multiple there are multiple cadet branches of Centrella where they get a lot of their diplomats and military families from.
Another very fun thing about House Centrella, yes, they have been around and have been running the Magistracy of Canopus for the longest time. But as this was going on, they got an ass kicking from where are they? These guys in House Humphreys.
Yep.
Because they were not being very nice. And House Humphreys showed up and told them to, behave.
Be nice.
Play nice.
House Humphreys is one of the oldest interstellar family with relatives on the TAS Pathfinder. I mean, that does give you a little bit of legitimacy in the eyes of many things. Just like the Kuritas. The Kuritas, one of their big thing and their big claim is that they're in the same family as Fushida, who made the KF drive. It's currently Fushida drive. The Fushida's family merge into House Kurita. So they have their own reason for nobility. It's weird when you start looking at how each of the houses got their position in many ways for the big houses. Because House Humphreys, I mean, right now they do run the Duchy of Andurian and have run it for the longest time. So there is that. But I mean, the Duchy of Andurian is, where you go when you want to have a civil war. Unfortunately.
Andurian also used to be ruled by the Allards, and there was another, I can't remember what the other house was that ruled them. But
was it the one that got eliminated?
No, they still exist. They just lost their power. One House Allard, if I remember right, that ruled Andurian was for the Capellans, and they ended up relocating to the Federated Sons.
I mean, Aus Davion basically won the race in the Federated Sons to become the first prince, basically by betraying and then buying and doing all that stuff to become the top dog. So
You mean they beat out House Ramaswamy?
Yeah.
Let's face it, the poor people in the United Indie Republic probably were too busy trying to scam each other. So they probably never got to anything.
It's a planet covered in cell phones hooked up to like 10 HPGs. And they're just broadcasting all out to the inner sphere, the scams.
Well, you had the major houses of the Federated Sons was originally House Varney, House Kerensky, House Davion, and dang it, what was the other big house? I wish I could find my fracking notes.
As Varney had a civil war, and they basically messed things up, and basically their last surviving people joined up with Aus Davion. So that is also basically what happened to them.
Those that maintained the last name of Varney ended up going into the Capellan Confederation. So you can find some Varneys still living in the Capellan Confederation. One of them got uppity and allows back their attempt to take over. I think it was the Capellan March with mercenaries. It failed, and then you had the creation of the Starleague Starleague that basically put a kibosh on any future attempts. Sorry, that more deep lore.
The other major houses in Aus Davion space, the really other big two, I would say, is Aus Asek and Aus Sandoval. Aus Asek was more influential at the start of the meta plot because it was interesting to actually do that. With George being the original traitor, trying to become the new first prince instead of the first prince. So things got a bit interesting in that period.
Yeah, that was the whole reason why he married Hans's sister.
Not quite sister. Mary Davion is the eldest child of Andrew Davion, but she's a legitimate. So she is not quite, because of her dad, she's noble, but
she's just there.
Yeah, well, she's recognized. You don't have to recognize all of your illegitimate kids.
Right.
Yes, if you recognize, and the way the system works, a recognized illegitimate child is called legitimized, which basically allows them to have inheritance rights, as well as allowing for their line to continue the bloodline. This is one of those things that you don't normally see in a very big, robust family with a robust bunch of heirs that's already in existence. You see it more along the lines of like
somebody who's running out of options.
Exactly. And
I mean, you can always run out of options when you're in these kinds of situations, especially as the big families often end up being military as well.
Just look at the last generation of Corridos.
Yes,
how many got eliminated in like 10 years?
And it's also the fact that a lot of people, the research I did on the von Rohrs family is the fact that the Corridans really did not like the von Rohrs and love saying that they were extinct, even though multiple members of the von Rohrs family went to battle and never were reported killed, and odds, because they did make the statement that the culture of the social general could possibly have something to do with the fact that so many of the von Rohr's family members ended up getting taken prisoner by the Lyrans and were never repatriated back to House Kurita because they didn't want them back. So there is the possibility that there are von Rohrs somewhere in the Lyran Commonwealth.
But they wouldn't have any nobility title anymore unless they got a title of nobility off of the Lyrans at that point.
Exactly.
Which is doubtful at that point.
But they could still claim, that's where the whole term pretender to the throne comes from. It doesn't mean just a pretender to a throne of a king. It can also be a pretender to a title. Because there are people nowadays that, like, say, post World War I, Austria-Hungary broke up, and the official constitution of Austria completely got rid of the nobility titles. But those families have.
You might still have somebody who's got ties to.
Well, there's plenty of Habsburg still.
Yes,
technically,
and they still maintain the statement that just because a piece of paper said our family lost our title doesn't mean we're giving it up. They still put the title in their name. Look at let's use Germany for instance. One of the most famous Germans was a one-eyed, one-handed dude that tried to kill Funny Mustache Man. Him and his brother both had the same last name, except for the fact one had the title of Graf and the other was maintaining the title of Freiherr, so that they wouldn't lose it. Thus, you had two branches of the family that came out of that maintained those titles, even though legally and technically those titles no longer existed.
Argyle saying Emperor of San Francisco.
Hey, that's a good one, that guy.
There's a few odd ones floating around, yes. But I mean, if you look, I mean, there is a descendant to the Napoleon throne. There's a descendant to the various French royal thrones. It gets quite interesting.
Yeah, and it's one of those things. The reason why I did all the research I did onto the very dynastic families in Battletech was to keep track of them, because I would every now and again you'd have a player who says, "Hey, I want a character that's this way." Especially my players that was playing characters from the Free Worlds League, when they were reading through the book, and they're like, "Holy crap! You can have fugitive nobility as your character's background. What does that mean?" And then you explain it to them. Well, your family was a noble family, and because of the fractious nature of the Free Worlds League, a civil war happened on the planet, and you got kicked off the planet because one thing or another. And so thus you're a noble in name only anymore, and whatever ties your family still had. And they loved that concept. So basically I got told, "Can you keep track of the family so we can make sure who's who?" And I was stupid enough to say, "Okay, I'll do it." And I was trying to keep track of it all.
It gets difficult.
That's where my notes came from.
Yeah, we don't have dynasties and stuff like that here in the U.S., but there is apparently a society that the only way you can join it is to be a direct descendant of a president. And there's members in it from Adams and the Roosevelts. I think Grant.
There's plenty of dynasties.
There's
in
a bunch
the
of
US.
them.
Let's be
Harrison,
honest.
Cleveland, and yeah, we do. There, I should say, correction. We don't have royalty. We don't have royal families here in the U.S. But there is a society that we do have those. But there is a society that you can only be in if you're a direct descendant of a U.S. president.
Well, no, I was gonna ask if you were the descendant of the Confederate president, but he didn't have any kids. So there's that.
And my family only came to the South came to the Southern states post Civil War. So yeah, no, none of that there.
Well, don't ask me. My family's everywhere.
If you guys
look, my family is minor nobles from Normandy moving to Quebec on one of the sides, and becoming minor farmers, uplifted farmers, while the other side is just farmers that moved to Quebec from France. So on my own family side, my family history is extremely simple. There's a lot of people, so like everybody, but it's an extremely simple family history in my side of the family. On my wife's side of the family, well, things are all over the place.
I'm related to the guy that populated Louisiana. I don't want to hear it.
well, at one time there was
Theo Vaughn's dad.
Believe
it
or not, there was an attempt after the founding that the 11th Amendment was going to be patents of nobility that you had to earn.
Well, there was a period where they were thinking of just calling the president an actual, like an elected king.
Yes.
Something like that, because that's the only thing that he could think of. And then someone came up with the name president, and people were like, that actually sounds much better. He's just going to be presiding over the councils. So it's fine. He's just going to be a president, not a king. And that's how it went. I mean, most countries don't have titles of nobilities anymore outside of like very restricted one. Even in Europe, I mean, there's some countries that still run them, but your title of nobilities aren't worth much or as much. But they're old money, so old money is always good. Old money has a lot of power, but Japan still has a couple noble families, but not as many as you would think. Where else? Well, Africa's weird.
Yeah, so that could change on a daily basis.
Well, the Saud is immense. They have like 1 million different princes. So who knows?
Well, okay. Africa has multiple kings still in operation right now, but they're not sovereign kings. They're parts of various federalized
states and such.
Within different countries. If I remember right, Nigeria has, I think, 3 kings that are non-sovereign. I had just done research on this last month, and because I had a friend of mine that was asking me about it, because we were going to create a fictional kingdom in Africa to set something we were going to write.
So you're saying that in addition to just being able to snatch up El Presidentes, we could actually go into Africa and just snatch up kings?
Yes,
that would be
huge.
Awesome.
If true, huge if true. Why are you snatching me up? I like America. Yeah, well, we just needed a new king. We just needed a king for our king collection, and you drew the short straw.
We needed another king. We needed another king because the other king we got is almost dead already. And then you have Chuck in the back there. I'm not almost dead.
Look, the position of Emperor of the United States is still available.
Yeah, Emperor Norton, man, he died without an heir, so it is open. And I've actually been thinking about claiming it.
There was a king in Mexico for like a short while as well. All sorts of things.
Imposed. He was actually a Habsburg that was imposed by the French. Maximilian. And the funny thing was,
the French imposed a Habsburg on the poor Mexicans. No wonder Mexico is the way it is.
Well, the ironic thing is, Emperor Maximilian actually gave a damn, and he was trying to learn Spanish to be able to understand the Mexican people and try to modernize Mexico. Unfortunately, the Mexicans did not like the fact that the French came in and was forcing an emperor on them, and they was like, "Oh hell no!" And that's why they killed him.
It wouldn't be the first time.
No, it wouldn't.
How Sandoval was pretty. I mean, they were written up in the early books, but they had like nothing really going on until Civil War, when they were like, okay, we have to make them do something. So James and Tancred showed up, and that's how we got like the more modern Sandoval.
Yes, the House Sandoval, ironically enough, even though Tancred married Yvonne, who was a Steiner Davion, if you'll notice, the family did not end up becoming a Davion Sandoval family. They maintained.
But just removed two of the three last names.
I mean, at some point, when you've got like, at least the guy wasn't called like Harrison Jones, Steiner, Davion, Sandoval. But then again, the Davions go by the more the French and British way of doing the naming, and the French and British generally, cut out the additional names. The family names that are 7 miles long was really more of a Spanish/Habsburg thing, because the Habsburg wanted to know which Habsburg you were, so they had to go like, okay, what Habsburg in the line are you? And that had to be like, I'm an Habsburg Windsor, the 17 different other names here.
And then in the Combine, when their few lords and stuff get together, the lord of the Arcab Legion comes and says, "Hello, my name is Muhammad Sharia," and they go, "Oh, hello, Sharia, son of Muhammad. How are you?" I'm sure we all heard about that.
Well, that's the thing. In the Draconis Combine, people took Japanese names in many situations, but that started after the collapse of the Star League, mostly.
Well, look at the most famous of their samurai, Tetsu. He was descendant of African American athlete family that ended up changing their names to a Japanese name after they were gifted a katana by the coordinator himself. And the world of Annapolis, they're in the Draconis Combine, which is predominantly a Anglo-American ethnically and culturally.
I wonder why.
It literally became more Japanese culturally than anywhere else in.
So you're saying they're a bunch of weeaboos? Okay.
Yes. They
but spelt in the French way.
It's really wild. It's one of the reasons
they were Twittered 3 weeks ago.
They were Twittered 3 weeks ago. Oh, they're still around. Well, don't worry.
This is one of the reasons why I really love the Battletech universe, is because the lore is so deep that you've got things like this that's part of it, and it's just really fun to me that you've got all of this background, this tapestry of it. It's just really deep, and people kept saying, "Oh," when trying to explain Game of Thrones, or getting Game of Thrones and stuff, and they're like, "Oh, that sounds pretty cool." I'm like, "If you think that's cool, you ought to get into the Battletech universe." And then they started doing a little bit of surface research on Battletech and says, "Oh, this is Game of Thrones in space." And I'm like, "No, this is more detailed than Game of Thrones."
Game of Thrones is
Battletech predates Game of Thrones.
And Battletech predates Game of Thrones. It's a little bit weird. It's probably Game of Thrones was probably in development at the same time as Battletech, as he was writing his original notes and stuff like later. Dude, it's GRRM. A decade, that's about the time it takes him to write a book. Oh, wait, no, it's been more than a decade.
Yes.
It takes him 10 years to take a shit.
Well, you also have to look at the fact that,
given his party lifestyle, that probably does actually happen.
Yeah.
What was that?
In his defense, me personally, if I made so much money that I never had to work again, and you expect me to sit down and write the final book? Fuck you. I'm going to go to New Mexico and I'm going to play with my life-size trains. Because the man has his own train that he can play with in New Mexico.
Yeah,
he's the
No,
next
so you
level.
I'm gonna do the-
Marcus.
Wait,
Yeah.
wait,
And matter of fact, I talk all this good shit about how, if I win the lottery, I'm going to buy Catalyst. Ha ha ha. Fuck all of you. I'm going to forget Battletech if I win the lottery. I'm going to be drinking margaritas and banging senoritas. No one's going to know where I'm at or what I'm doing. I'm going to go dark and disappear, man.
You're gonna be
in Mexico and they'll track you down.
Realistically, I'll move to Australia and I'll be an Outback trucker. How about that?
So you'll go visit Gabe.
So you proved my point.
There you go. There you go. You can take the man out of the truck, but you can't take the truck out of the man. Especially after the truck rams the man at 100 mile an hour.
You can take the
you'd be
lizard
trucking
out
for
of the
fun
lot,
rather
but
than
you
trucking
can't
for
take
profit.
The lot out of the lizard.
Yes. Absolutely. But yeah, no.
That's
cool.
part of what I was talking about yesterday. I mean, we had a quick thing. I brought it up here. If you really wanted a, your brother said you would know.
You would know what?
Your brother says that he would know if you won the lottery.
Oh yeah, he'd probably know. I'd probably call him, and be like, "Yo, dog, quit your job. We're fine.
We're
Quit your
both
job."
moving. We're both moving to Australia.
I wouldn't tell you if I won the lottery, but there would be signs.
Oh yeah,
like
he would
the
know.
for sale sign outside my house because I'm moving out of this podunk town. You ain't stopping me. I'm moving.
But that was kind of what I was talking about yesterday. If you really wanted to sit someone down to actually manage the Battletech plot and try to, move things in the proper direction, this is far more what you would need to be looking at than it's big robots going bang bang. Yes, big robots going bang bang is quite important because that's what the game is. But if you want to mess with the plot and get things moving in the proper direction, this is far more important and far more interesting in the long run than just Max blowing up.
But that's too much work.
That is a lot of work, yes. But I mean, what are the best books in Battletech generally? It's generally the books dealing with this kind of level stuff.
It was a spy novel that we actually got.
Yeah, and what was the spy novel all about? Well,
because let's be honest, the latest Karita book that dealt with the succession and all that bullshit was probably the best book since shit. I don't know.
I mean, and the other one that we had about Aus Liao, well, it wasn't really dealing with dynastic stuff. It was dealing with going on a odd girl summer and then on shopping trips and then fighting for a little bit.
The fighting sucked because it was the guy can't write battle scenes, so it was usually just artillery blowing shit up.
That is so interesting.
And then
Battery A fired 30 long tom shells in the span of
no, it
30
wouldn't even do that. It
seconds.
was more like, suddenly there was explosions all around Danny's map. Her boy toy took some damage.
Well, when it comes right down to it, if you're gonna want to be,
There was one other book that was actually just boring, though.
If you want to dominate a battlefield, you go in with artillery. That's how to dominate a battlefield.
Yep.
One of the reasons why the Germans were there were two reasons why the Germans were terrified of Americans. Our linguistical was really, really good, and our artillery was so damn good. It's like if you shoot at the Allies and you've got an artillery strike on your position in under a couple of minutes, you just pissed off the Americans. That was how they knew where the Americans were at, was by extremely accurate artillery.
I thought it was just Americans like to blow shit up.
Yeah, we do.
Also.
We like watching. We like redrawing maps with big explosives.
There's going to be holes now in the map. There were no holes before. Now there will be holes.
Why do you
House
think
Marik
Grandpa
is
Buff the
fun
best
because
plane
they're the system is
They're
different
related
enough,
to everybody.
and they're related to everybody, but it's because it is a big family and it goes very much in depth.
Mhm.
And
That's because they're all trying to kill each other. That's
Yes.
and they never stopped trying to kill each other. Crab has to leave, so have a good day, Crab.
See you,
See ya,
Crab.
crab.
The Mariks, but if you look, the Mariks really got bad in the Stefan, Janos, Anton series here. It's this particular region is when things got really, really, really bad.
Those two generations, really.
Yeah,
What gets me is the fact that Anton is supposed to have had an heir, but they never put anything into it.
I thought that was Duncan. Or which one was Duncan?
Duncan has an heir called Carlos. Anton never had an heir. He was trying to woo and seduce everyone. He was supposed to marry. Candace Liao for a while.
Mhm.
And then things didn't quite go as planned because Candace didn't really want to marry a guy that was, 30 years his elder. So things got a little bit weird. And then he decided to declare war on his brother, and things got quite bad from there. He never had at least any legitimate kids. It would be quite surprising if he didn't have, one or two illegitimate floating around. But I mean, Duncan had Carlos, but that's the Carlos, son of former.
He made it to the Jihad.
He made it to the Jihad and then died as any good Jihad person. No, it's not that bad.
Actually, no, I remember he was just a captain, and he was kind of kept as the pet for the unit.
Yeah, House.
There's worse things that could happen.
Was originally the princely house of Seljuk was the original princes of Regulus.
They did nothing wrong.
But if you look at Janos, I mean, how many kids died? 1, 2, 3, 4. He had 5 of his kids die. Therese didn't marry.
Good Lord, is this the far future or is this 1822?
Oh, House Marik is
sung some seed, man. He sung some seed. Those are just the kids that came
that
from
we
Mary.
know of.
Yes,
that he had with Hilda.
Yeah, because he also had kids with Anna Stewart. 1, 2, 3 kids with Anna Stewart. 2 of them have now their own houses, which is not bad. Janos 2 died. Thomas Real, Thomas False. Thomas Real only had 1 kid. I think after that he got, castrated, so that wouldn't happen anymore.
What the fuck?
He got blown up.
I mean, Thomas Marik got blown up in a car bomb and survived because Comstar pulled him out of it. He was
not
more
car bomb.
machine than man.
It was office with like all the others.
Yes.
Was it an office bomb?
That was
the
how
car
Janos
bomb?
got killed too.
Did Comstar set the car bomb?
No. It is rumored that Duncan set the bomb because Duncan walked out of the room a couple of minutes before the bomb went off.
Did Comstar set the bomb?
No. Comstar actually they did have people that was nearby to keep an eye on Thomas because
Thomas was a Comstar adept, so yes, normal. But I mean, I wouldn't put it past Comstar. You should never put anything past Comstar. Let's just go with that.
The assassination failed. Quick, look like the hero.
Got him killed because they were actually the fact that Thomas was going to become. He was the heir to be Captain General, and it's one of the reasons why Duncan was really upset. Was he considered Thomas no longer a member of the family? He saw him as an outsider because he was so devoted to
Comstar,
the word of Blake, and so that's one of the reasons why it is strongly hinted at that Duncan's the one that set the bomb off. And it's also one of the reasons why Comstar had people there to keep an eye on him to protect him, because their ultimate plan had always been to put their puppet on the Captain General's throne. So
someone bringing up that Ausalage is the current ed of the Free Worlds League in Gothic. I know they've played around with Gothic.
The Salage never got killed off.
There, yeah. But, oh yeah, they were technically, I would say that they would be. It is so very odd when you look at those
Gothic.
Kind of
Gothic mentioned. Why did my friendly local game store do a restock on Gothic and get 5 boxes? Why did the minor local game store have 3 boxes on the shelf? And why is it now back up to $84 on Amazon instead of the $70 it has been? What the fudge?
Very good question, to which I do not have an answer.
I feel like they're getting pushed to get that, because it's like why Target's trying to shove it into like so many discount bundles. They're trying to move units.
No, that's actually that is not Target. That's actually, if you go look, those bundles are on Amazon. They're on eBay. It's people trying to get rid
other
of Gothic. Yeah.
So again, I feel it does feel a little bit like stores restocking, even when it's like who's buying it. Does feel like it's more up the food chain trying to push down, because then I've got your money, have trouble.
Or it might be that someone bought those discounted boxes, or a reseller bought some of those discounted boxes, and now they're trying to pass them down as well. It could be in the middle portion as well.
Ugh.
Major's saying that I don't think Comstar did it. I mean, you should never put anything past Comstar. And it might be one part of Comstar that did it, and the other part of Comstar was trying to prevent it, because it's Comstar.
Yeah.
I mean, at least Jessica got a lot of kids, but out of all those kids, only Nicole's still alive.
Juliet's alive.
No, true. She's the only one who claimed the Marik name. The others haven't really claimed the Marik name.
Juliet is also brain damaged and a bondsman for the Diamond Sharks.
Wow.
Or Sea Fox.
Wow, look at the Diamond Sharks. Turns out noble children, there's no law against it. You can have as many noble children as you want. We have a Marik as a bondsman.
They're the ones who healed her.
Mm-hmm.
So we will heal your noble daughter, but we will also take her as a bondsman.
Yeah,
but she'll live.
Yeah, she basically was brain dead.
I mean, every clan has a couple noble and iron noble kids. The wolves add 3 or 4 for a while.
They had Katrina.
They had Ragnar Magnusson.
I don't know. Are the Kells nobles?
Yes.
Because they had Phelan.
Archduke.
He's an Archduke of Ark Royal.
Yeah.
The Archducal House of Kell of Ark Royal.
Ark Royal, a name that is synonymous with Teutonics and Germans and Prussians. Definitely Ark Royal belongs in the Lyran Commonwealth, not the Federated Sons. Clearly.
Also, the House Kell had a ducal house, a standard ducal house, plus a committal house and a baronal house. Because they originally, before they became dukes and archdukes, they had titles of count and baron, because they were a military house that earned their place.
And then there's House Carlisle also. They have Odessa now.
Yes, but I wouldn't say Carlisle is an old blood.
No, it's
noble family. If you
only
look
about
at the
5
mercenary
generations.
houses, there's a few that have old blood, like the Anson's Rough Rider, the Islanders we already talked about. There's a few that have noble titles in some ways or another.
Oh, and don't forget the new current thing with the FedCom is where they're giving titles out for contracts because they can't afford mercs.
Yeah, so makes sense.
And if you do well enough, it's a life. The initial one is for basically that generation, but they still get the landhold later. But then a couple of the units are now getting continuous, where it's more than.
Even though it makes no sense that the Fed sons would be broke. Never mind. It's modern Battletech.
Well, the reason why they're saying that they're broke was when House Kurita took New Avalon, they cleaned out the treasury.
That's not how international banking works.
I could understand
that's not how international banking works, but that's how intergalactic banking. No, that's how mafia works.
International intersideral bankings used to be managed by Comstar, so that's not how it works.
And remember,
what I was going to say was that
after Comstar, it then got taken over by the Republic of the Sphere. And at that point in time, the Republic of the Sphere was what? Hosed.
Yeah. Alice Allison ran Oriente until they died out. They died out during the third succession war or second succession war?
I think it was the second.
2845, so second succession war. And were replaced by Aus Alice. But, I mean, Aus Alice... Okay, they married into it, so they're not completely dead. They're just that they don't have any direct heirs anymore.
Well, you had the same thing happen with House Bay too, but they actually adopted it to take it over.
House Alice is more known now because they run part of the whole.
They are the current House Marik, basically.
Yeah. But I mean, Oriente was always a pretty big title. The Orloff is a big family if you look at House Marik because the name shows up quite often if you look through military, all sorts of things. But it's, the Duchy of Orloff is like 3 planets. It's still pretty, I'd like to run 3 planets. That'd be.
It's basically
I feel like 3 planets is the most I would be able to handle as a Duke. Anything more than
6.
3, that's kind of pushing it. That's pushing it.
Well, give
me a regiment and a warship, and you can have 2 of my planets.
Well, then again,
they lost 3.
Oh, cool. I lost 3. That's fine. I don't care. I only care about my 3 core ones that I can actually handle and manage.
Al Stewart, also another big noble, a big noble name, as Earls of Stewart, which is another major region, but it's also that's also old blood, the Stewart family. So, I mean, there's already a noble of the Stewart line in Britain, so that's where they would be coming from.
Well, the House Stewart, the Earl of Stewart. That's the planet, which is ironic. I think the only place where in the inner sphere where the leader of a planet isn't a duke is in the Free Worlds League. That there are actual planets that are ruled by counts or earls.
Stewart is the one which had the boring book about their family secret that they never revealed and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, that's so interesting. That was that's the one. Yeah,
Letter of Law.
We have a family secret that we can't reveal. Surely it will be revealed in the book. That way, at least the readers know. No one will ever know our family secret.
Oh, the funny thing about House Stewart, they also have family on Northwind. They're
Clan Stewart, the Stewart clan.
Mm-hmm.
I can't get the picture up. I will never reveal the Wu-Tang secret. The Wu-Tang Clan. They're the secret clan in the clan space.
Hey, by the way, did the album that Martin Shkreli had them make, and then he like owned it and whatnot? Did it ever get released for public consumption?
I don't think so.
So there's a whole ass Wu-Tang Clan album out there that still hasn't seen the light of day.
Yeah.
Yes, because it's still under legal battle.
Which is hilarious.
I love it. I love it. I love it.
What is about the IOUs to the Capellans? Yeah, that's something new to me. What was that about?
For
I don't know. It was in the chat.
Has this anything to do with the IOUs to the Capellans? I'm not quite sure what you're trying to talk about that. I mean, the Capellans. The Capellans are the weirdest ones in terms of dukes and nobles. They also don't go by the regular titles for most of the places. You'll have mandarins, you will have magnates, you will have all sorts of things if you start looking at the different planets for House Liao. And those titles don't seem to be all that hereditary unless you are part of House Liao or part of the Liao Cadet branch number 73 there. They really don't seem to be all that hereditary, which kind of goes with the fact that they're a little bit more
socialistic.
Yeah, would be the best way to put it.
We're literally,
but it's also because they pulled.
You're owned by the state.
It's also because they pull and they give the titles to people all the time, and madness in House Liao starts very early in the branch.
Calvin.
I mean, it goes very quickly that things are getting really weird. The Davions never really. I think there was more war crimes on the Liao side against the Davions than the Davions on the Liao side, especially.
Whatever did happen to Trehong?
He died from during the jihad.
He died of jihad.
During the jihad, if I remember right, he was killed by poisoning.
Killed by Mani Domini assassins because we needed. He died of jihad. Because we needed to remove him from the story.
Yeah, they wanted to get rid of the whole Free Capella and the Black Wind Lancers.
So yes, there was reasons for that.
I don't see the reason, but that's what they decided to do.
Remember, that's when the fallout with what's his name happened.
Warner Doles.
Yep.
Oh. Jacob Banson never had any kids with his Liao wife. That then committed, set herself on fire. So that's an odd one.
Hey,
hi, Tony Gonzalez.
Hey, she's still my dark horse candidate for being.
Bro.
For being the one where are those agents called for the ROTS?
Ghost Knights.
No, the other ones.
I still can't believe they named her Kaylin Lao after the Chinese dragon unicorn.
Look, she married
Shimmers.
Look, she married Jacob Banson and didn't like him. Like, how's that possible? The guy is like, he's the best possible. He's the most valuable bachelor. One of those things.
She married Space Tony Stark. Come on.
And then he disappears because he was always a ROTS plant.
I don't like when they do that, especially when you read a story, which is like, I was a businessman from my youth, and I clawed myself up by doing all sorts of awesome shit. And yes, I am probably more corrupt than most people, but it doesn't matter,
Because I'm actually a secret agent.
Well, I was gonna say, how many of
It
the
gets
freaking
very
his
boring.
raiders turned out to be ghost knights or knights?
Well, one of the things with
That's a problem. That's a problem with writing as well here, because that's just a writing problem with let's put mystery boxes everywhere, and it causes issues when you like to have a nice dynastic system. And
That's why I
dynastic
still
everything.
say David Lear was behind everything.
David Lear was behind everything. That would make more sense.
Especially considering the fact Stone never married or had kids.
That's because he was gay.
Can you prove it?
Even then, look at history. You know, when it comes down to it, you have to establish a dynasty, which means children. Go get yourself a surrogate mother. You know,
I mean, even Michael Jackson technically had kids.
Yeah,
we definitely know they're not his, but he had kids, and that's because everything below his waist wasn't working more than anything else. By the way, not because he was gay. That's what happens when you're on puberty blockers from when you're like 6. But we shouldn't be talking about that too loudly.
I mean, honestly, if they really wanted like cultural whatever victory for themselves, they should just make David Lear and Stone gay, and nobody would give a shit.
Yeah.
I mean,
they could pat themselves on the back, celebrate, and it would be the most nothing burger in the entire universe.
House Calderon was another house that has several cadet branches, but the cadet branches somehow are always able to be rolled back into the main branch.
Well, that's because you intermarry. But no, the Calderon family kind of went extinct more or less as well. So because
you had several of the Calderon family that they don't have no idea where they went to.
They're too busy being in the periphery. Okay.
And we all know what happened to Jeffrey when Sun Tzu decided that the Taurians.
Well, Jeffrey had the audacity of being in the wrong place at the wrong time.
How dare he?
Sure, it was more likely that Sun Tzu had that one taken.
Yes, more than likely. I know that he was kidnapped by Sherman Malton and the colonial marshals, and they were trying to get the front reach going the first time, and that didn't quite work. Everybody got killed, including the poor Jeffrey Calderon, who was an unfortunate side victim to the whole thing.
Yeah,
there was, I can't remember the his sister who had some type of disease.
Brenda. It's Brenda. It's the one that's right next to him.
And she had some disease, and instead of her inheriting the throne, he got it.
Yeah.
And
there was dirt for anyone else?
Nope, just you, Tanky.
Oh, okay. Carry on.
But yeah, it's the Calderons had some really interesting aspects to it. And when Stapleton came to power, there were Calderons that could have become the next protector as they were supposed to, but he refused to recognize them and assumed the duties himself with the support of Sun Tzu. And that's why you ended up getting
the Calderon Protectorate on one side and the good old on the other. And now they're trying to remerge, and who knows where that's going to go because they don't care.
And Eric had the worst love life of possible. First one dies from a hemorrhagic fever, and the other one disappears from a Farlooker base.
Well, that's terrible. He was also allergic to dogs and a fan of the Shangri-La tigers.
What the fuck does that have to do with anything?
Oh.
I will be very honest. This is more interesting than a lot of stuff that they put in current bios.
True.
And in all sorts of things, because it actually makes him very human. Very, very human.
So what happened to Sam Calderon?
I gotta hop on off. Y'all take care.
You have a very nice day.
See you,
Sam
Romano.
Calderon.
Yeah, he's Eric's son.
The
first one died from so Eric Martins Calderon.
Mm-hmm.
Sam is his child.
Sam, born in 98. He married and had kids. It's already a good start. And he's still alive. It's even better. Okay, yeah, they're the one. He's the one that's wanting to marry his son to Kafdoru's daughter in order to reform the Concordat with the Calderon Protectorate. Of course, that is in the future, and who knows if we'll ever get to that future. You know,
that would mean somebody would actually have to care to write it.
That is a thing that CGL needs to do. Just sit down and write everything. Not novels. Just
put
the stuff down.
According to Randall on his interview with No Guts, No Galaxy or whatever, apparently they are trying to write for the future, and they have a way that they go about like how they're going to write the storyline and whatnot. It's just, oh wow. You guys need to actually sit down, figure out what the hell you're actually doing. Like, be so for freaking real here, and maybe rein in your junior contractors. I don't know who this Daniel Iceburner dude is. I don't know who turned him on, but they need to turn him off.
Ever stop them.
Sorry, what?
We are deeply ashamed of how our junior contractors misrepresent us online, but we would never, ever stop them.
Yeah.
Actually, no. What they need to do is rein in their editor.
I think the editor is one of the big problems, so that doesn't help. And I mean, the first thing you should do is have like a clear plan of where's the start, where's the end, and fill out do the big lines, and then start filling it out. But right now, all the novels we're getting
and the end, and then fill everything in between to get from there to there.
Yeah,
that's a very complex thing to do for CGL. It seems.
Well, and the bad thing is they used to do it. They had those writer conferences every like 2 years.
And the problem is though they got rid of the people. They got rid of the people who had the institutional knowledge of how to pull this stuff off. And
I'll be honest, they also have a problem, and it's been a problem since very early on, because
they have no money.
That's another problem, but it's a problem that can be addressed in different ways here. The main thing is that the first big dynastic novels were the Warrior Trilogy. And the Warrior Trilogy, it's not a massive thing, but it has some massive twists in it. And they've been trying to redo those twists and those kind of big reveals ever since. They always try to do it. With every big novel series or every big thing, they try to do those big twists and those big things. Big twists don't work. They don't work.
They just replaced it with mystery boxes now too.
Yeah, well, that's when big twists. That's when you don't even know how to write the big twist anymore. So you put mystery boxes, and you hope the next guy is able to do the big twist. And yes, they have mystery boxes all over the place now. That's the next step in trying to write for twists, and twists don't work. So,
one of the things that I always you've got to make sure when it comes to these dynasties, and if you're going to write these stories, you've got to be able to keep. Sadly, that goes into hire a soap opera writer just for that reason alone. Somebody who gets the whole concept of people will get jiggy with it and make babies. You just got to keep track of who's got jiggy with who and made what babies, legitimate or not.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, their lead writer right now can't keep track of which 6 mechs are in battle.
Like I said,
that is a bit of an. But that's even worse though, because, like you said, I are a soap opera writer. Soap opera writers are not super expensive.
No, they're not.
And you don't need that soap opera writer for, a 12 novel contract or something like that. You need them to sit down, start looking at all the families and all the things and be like, okay, those two, okay, they're going to be together. Those two are going to be together. This is going to be like this. We're going to start having this family, these kids. You just start doing the whole graph once again. And once the graph is done, well, I mean, you pay them and you don't even really have to pay residual because you don't have to pay anything else.
Catalyst here.
Yeah. See, the Remy Luna asked, why have they not turned the Warrior Trilogy and the Blooded Kerensky Trilogy into audiobooks? I thought they did.
There's probably different versions of it by now. I didn't know the Bogdanov were still around, but they're around with the Calderon, apparently.
Yeah.
It's the Bogdanov, very important French family. No, it's
secret to Clan Youth.
The secret to Clan Youth. You just get
they're
bogged.
not actually young; they're just bogged out.
Well, that's
explain the
that's
current
Natasha.
artist choices for their
That's
looks.
Natasha Kerensky. She had more plastic surgery than she was probably more plastic than human at the end.
Well, yes.
That's why she melted when those.
No, it's by prosthesis. Free birth. No.
But, I mean, hiring someone to do these kinds of things is not terribly expensive, and it would improve things significantly right now, I would think.
Well, honestly, they just need a head writer plus, a head person who is actually steering the ship, which would be your lead editor. But
their editor is terrible. We all know that. So
yeah.
They really need a lore master, somebody who knows the universe like the back of their hand, who will be able to sit there and say if something has happened already or not, or if would this work, and go from there. I mean, for God's sake, they've got all the materials out there that any writer that is going to write for the setting can sit down and read. I mean,
honestly, they have the people in the wrong positions.
Yes,
Ray should be the editor.
But when there's another problem, I would say in the same thing here, it's the same people.
Yeah.
It's been the same people for what, 40 years now?
30.
At some point, you need to move on.
One of the things,
because it's a big problem, but not just at CGL. It's a big problem in a lot of places. There's that missing gap and that missing generation here. The late X and early millennials, that particular generation of people just never got a chance anywhere.
Nope.
And now that knowledge, that block of people, which would be important and would be able to run these different things. Well, the boomers are keeping on forever. The early Gen Xers are keeping on forever. And then you have that generation right after. that is there that already then that generation doesn't know how to run things. That is the thing that we've learned by looking at streamers and all those people. It doesn't work quite as well as it should because we're missing a middle group of people there.
If I was in charge of CGL and the novels department, I would take a page out of what Lucasfilm used to do whenever a new writer was getting hired on. They would literally go and grab the full set of the West End Games Star Wars role-playing game source books, hand it to the new writer and says, here's your homework, read it, learn it, then write me a book or write me a story.
That would be, for Battletech, it'd be a little bit difficult, but I'd see it, and I think it should be done by every company that has those big IPs. So Doctor Who, Star Wars, Star Trek, because the material's there. It's just that people don't want to take it. And there's some people that just don't, is not just that they don't want to use it, is that they actively go against it. I'm not sure CGL's at that point yet, but it's possible.
Every IP.
I hear Elkite being sounding depressed there at the back. So I think he thinks CGL is there.
Well, I think that every IP that has an established canon really needs a lore master whose job is to sit there and go, wait, this isn't going to work. This storyline ain't going to work because
and
this
then you have to provide substitutes.
That.
I'm pretty sure CGL
I banned the ViewBot person. Oh crap! I should have clicked that link.
I thought CGL at one time had that person. There used to be somebody who was actually pretty prominent on the old CBT boards forever.
The problem with a person in the role of a lore master, and you have that problem right now in Star Wars as an example. Even if you have a lore master, that doesn't mean that A, he's good, and 2, that he actually has the best interest of the company and the
wait. There's also option C of they get overridden because they don't have enough power.
Yeah,
that too. But what was when Kevin Smith did his E-Man series? I can't remember the guy who was working with him because Kevin Smith had no idea what E-Man is because he's Kevin Smith and he doesn't care. But he said that he really liked it. Never mind, it's Kevin Smith. But he had a guy from Netflix working with him who Kevin Smith basically relied on for everything, who was supposed to be the lore master or the whatever for E-Man that Netflix had given him. But that guy 100% just wanted to push his own agenda. Which has that.
I got a better one for you.
Mm-hmm. Which one?
Ubisoft. They hire the guy who referenced his own work to be able to write about
to justify damn Afro Samurai.
Oh well, that guy is. I mean, that's a legendary grift that he ran, and I mean, you gotta admire what he managed to do.
And when you look at this guy, he is like the most whitest Midwestern or Northeastern white guy to ever be. Like when you think of WASPs, white Anglo-Saxon Protestants, he is the archetypical male WASP that would pop to your mind.
Wait, did he just disappear?
Oh yeah, he disappeared.
Yeah. He's disappeared.
He went back home to Tel Aviv.
Hey, he already got the money, man. So he
went back home to Tel Aviv. Yeah, exactly.
The dude,
yes.
This is something my son, he loves the Assassin's Creed game, and I'm like, he wasn't an actual samurai, he was an Ashigru, which, considering the time, that's really badass. And but there's this whole book about it, and I'm like, yes, go look into the guy who wrote the book. They have proven repeatedly that it was all made up stuff, and all the references that he said that he put into the book, go look it up and you'll see he wrote all the papers that was referenced in that book. And my son is 18 years old and thinks he knows it all.
Well, that's normal. Every 18-year-old thinks they know everything. That's always the case.
I did when I was his age then. Shit.
I knew everything when I was 18, and I still know everything, and I'm not 18. I still know everything. I summoned
Lovelace's demon. I now possess complete causal knowledge thanks to what I did at 18.
The thing is, going to university taught me that I don't know anything. That's the main thing going to university taught me.
University
I'm the opposite of most people that went to university that look at. Yes. I went to university, so I know everything. Like I realized that I knew less that I wanted about everything, but the things that I did learn about, I actually know about. Surprisingly enough, I know it's insane. This thing that I did study, I do understand and I do know. So I can talk about a few things in.
Star Commander Droth is asking you to send him a link.
Oh, we're ending in like 5-minute here. Sorry.
All right, I'll send him a message.
Yeah. Because I do not work this week. I am on vacation, but tomorrow we're doing our taxes.
Some vacation.
Well, no, it hasn't been too bad. Hasn't been too bad up till now. I mean, I was dreading today because I had that car mechanic appointment, and those are always the worst possible things that can happen. But it hasn't been too terrible, let's say. So I'm kind of okay with it. But tomorrow I do have to do my taxes. I have to paint a couple mechs.
Oh no, he has to paint. Hey, how are we coming on the Oh God, what's that little guy?
I've got
what's that little heavy mech? No, not the Nodachi. No, forget the Warhammer. The man in robot suit samurai armor, but it's an LRM boat that the clans make for the Combine.
That's coming out tomorrow. The Autoco. That's coming tomorrow. It should have already.
The Ha-Otoko.
Yeah. It's coming out tomorrow. It's such a weird mech.
All right. The Kung Fu Bunny Show has a question. Question. I'm learning about Battletech. Where do you recommend starting?
Go get Battletech. Go get the Battletech Universe book. Start there and branch your way out. Yeah. That's your easiest and most. Look, I know we don't like CGL, but that is your easiest and bestest, most accessible way to get the lore without diving down a Wikipedia rabbit hole by clicking on hyperlinks on Sarna.
Watching 5 hours in a row of text, which, if you're doing something else and you want some long slop to listen to, it's not the worst long slop.
I mean, if you're like me, I mean, most of the text videos I listen to when I'm playing MechWarrior 5 or playing Airbrain Scheme Battletech, you just have that in the background while you're playing the game. It's not bad. But it's not going to bring you up to speed. Like Battletech Universe, pretty good introduction to just sit down and go through.
New and on. Listen, Tex has got really good stuff. Tex does really good things. The problem is that from his point of view, he thought he was just bringing these old Battletech memes to light, so that the old Battletech community would go, oh yeah, I remember the Urban Mech meme and the Steiner Scoutlands meme. Ha ha ha. Good job, Tex. He did not anticipate the modern audience grabbing a hold of the memes and running with them so hard that Catalyst would make an Urban Mech LAM.
Yeah.
Or a whole company.
That was not his fault. That was not Tex's fault. Tex had nothing to do with that. That was 100% CGL, some goober at CGL, not Rim, because for all of her faults, she was just the community manager. So someone
she had no idea what Battletech is.
She had no clue what an Urban Mech was.
So someone higher than her at CGL said, hey, the Urban Mech is a really funny meme now. Thank you, Tex. Put out an Urban Mech company, an Urban Mech Lance, and do the Urban Mech LAM. Why? Because we have a free production spot already paid for.
Oh, and the Urban Mech plushie too.
And the Urban Mech plushie.
Hey, this could have gone to the right.
And don't forget the Urban Mech blimp that they had at all the cons.
Yeah.
I don't hate the Urban Mech
I'm not
inflatable.
allowed-
What were you saying, Hellkite?
That production line could have gone to the Raijin.
Oh, absolutely. But I don't hate the Urban Mech inflatable because, again, like, okay,
That's
what
a
else
good.
would
That's
it
a
have
good
been?
marketing. That's a good marketing product.
I mean, an inflatable Timberwolf would have looked like shit. An inflatable Timberwolf would have looked like shit and not been nearly as big. The Urban Mech inflatable works because its arms are so stuffed. It's a simple shape. It is
was actually probably a
1-to-1
1-to-1 size too.
I do believe so. Yeah. Which also means that an Urban Mech's cockpit is bigger than my 18-wheeler's freaking driver's cabin. So, I mean, it's got a big cockpit.
Yeah, it's the second most roomy cockpit in canon.
Yeah.
But if we go with what you're saying here, Kung Fu Bunny, I mean, and full of wiki pages, the one Torian country song, yeah, okay. You're really at the beginning. Battletech universe, really good. Get the, worst case, you get the intro box. There's a little blurb in there. I mean, learning the lore is fun, but learning the game is also, fun. So
it is
good to have both.
It is important to actually play the game.
And if you want to
and learn how,
go to drive through and get some of the handbooks or whatever, whichever faction you like.
You don't even need to get into the weeds like that. Reading some of the novels, I think, is a good idea as well. Remy Luna. Oof, boy, getting tired. Warrior Trilogy, Grey Death Trilogy. Those are the ones I would recommend people starting out to read before anything else.
Yeah.
Because they're the most simple. They're the most simple books in that particular time frame, and I think Grey Death Trilogy is very simple, and it works really well. Warrior Trilogy is a little bit more complex. It works very well. Are those great works of fiction? No, definitely not. But
Karinsky and the Jade Phoenix. Okay.
I'd read that after I'm done reading Warriors and Grey Death. You need to read Grey Death. Well, Grey Death maybe not, but Warriors you should read. It should be some of the first reading you do if you do novels.
Well, it also depends if they like clans or if they want to deal with Airspear.
It's because it sets things up. That's why I'm saying that.
Yeah.
It set things up a lot more in the Warriors Trilogy gives you a very good idea of what the Inner Sphere is.
It gives you a good setup of the political machinations behind it. And Grey Death Legion, actually, starting with the very first book, you actually get to witness the birth of a mercenary unit that ends up becoming legendary. Kind of like Crescent Hawk's Revenge, where you start out as a lone mech warrior and you build up your mercenary unit, just like the Battletech Harebrained Studios game.
There's many entry points to Battletech at this point, and
I mean, obviously we gotta shill our host here, Atian. He's putting out Battletech lore and whatnot.
I mean,
Texas
I put out a video. I put out a video.
Checking out.
Sven der Frank. Sven is pretty good, but it's also long videos.
If you want to learn playing the game, definitely try to look into Nerdy Overanalyzed. I send my new players to his channel.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't post anymore, not hardly, but what he was posting was really good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It was really good. So
there's all sorts of things going on. All right, we're going to leave it at that. Like I said, tomorrow we have a video on the Aotoko coming out. There's going to be a decent number of custom variants being discussed because it just makes sense. And some of the real variants are really weird. Really weird.
Yeah.
And even the base model is really weird.
It
I
is.
just don't like the 220s and the 210s. It's like we've got
I'd
to
rather
take the
415
least efficient way to get to
With
60
standard
LRMs.
heat sinks.
That's the
Yeah.
real problem. But I mean, I
Yeah, well,
discussed in my video, I've discussed that if any Clan Dimer's Shark Warrior would be getting this, they'd start shooting. And the first thing they'd say once they get back to the hangar is, technician, my heat sinks are not working. No, you've got 13. You've got 13 heat sinks. They're working just fine. I'm just looking at the stats. No, they're not working. I'm shooting my weapons and I'm overeating. Yes, because they're single heat sinks. What's a single heat sink?
Yes.
Someone
And then he
please
gets
help.
rid of
My
the
mech is
fusing
overheating. Shoot one less LRM. No.
The Ha Otoko, the majority of Ha Otoko variants, I think it is, and the main Piranha variant, I do believe, are the only two clan mechs that use single heat sinks.
The Archer C, one of the version of the Archer C, mounts single
Well,
heat sinks, but it mounts
I don't
something
count
like
the.
it mounts like 30 single heat sinks.
Well, I don't count the. I don't count the C's because they're basically just inner sphere chassis with clan.
Hey, it's CJ. It's CJ, the streamer, or a friend from Twitch. You can say hi. Hi, CJ.
Hello.
What up, CJ?
One of the things that I thought was, I mean, some of the mechs that they've got that they've remade with Clan Tech, I always thought it was weird that the 2Cs did not make them faster and more armored.
No, the two C's are a different branch of evolution of mechs. We'll have to have a full discussion on that at some point. Maybe next week. I mean, that might be a topic for next week.
One of my new players has discovered the ubiquitousness of the Rifleman 2C.
Oh no!
Oh, no.
And I'm.
He has a choice to make.
Poor other players that are playing with your new player. They will
He's
learn
a cool dude.
before pulse lasers.
He is a cool dude, but I'm like, okay, gonna let you have your fun, but
After this, you better
I'm
not
the
only change to get mediums.
But I'm the DM. I am I run this group, and I get to determine when fun time is over. So
Are you just going
when
to
I
drop
say,
a Sagittarius on them?
oh, why would I take a Sagittarius against a Rifleman 2C? The Sagittarius is going to take 80 damage before it even gets in range.
The ERPPC.
No. What you do is you force them to be in a Rifleman 2C2. Like I bring a Rifleman 2C. Okay, it's a 2C2. Okay, well, it can't be that bad. What is that?
It's okay, they don't jam
C2s?
animals.
I don't have a huge bonus to it anymore. I'm faster.
I'm going to run a Jade Falcon list, and I'm going to use a Jupiter 3 as the anvil, and I'm going to use a Jade Hawk as the hammer. Simple as.
Sounds like somebody we know.
That's pretty cool.
Simple as. No, he's a good
2C
dude. He's retiring the Rifleman 2C for this week's game because he wants to play with C3, and we're in the Jihad. So we're going to use the new C3 rules and
Rifleman
go through
2C6 with a pair of AG 30s and an anti-missile and 7
Good
tons.
God.
7 tons of ammo
and active probe.
If there is a plane in the sky, there is no more plane in the sky.
If there's anything under 100,000 tons in the sky, it's no longer there.
Armor just,
Hey, look, a civilian dropship.
Armor just posted on the Discord clan mechs with single heat sinks. The Arana, the Atlas, the Bear Cub, the Behemoth, the Cazador, the Clint 2C, Fire Scorpion, the Golan, the High O Keiko,
yeah,
the Ice Storm, the Kraken XR, the Marauder, Oscott
2C,
Piranha, Reptar,
the Reptar militia mech. Yeah, that's kind of understandable.
Snow Fox, Stinger, Tolva, and the Urban Mech 2C.
Okay, but to be fair, the Oscout 2C only has single heat sinks because it doesn't actually have any weapons, though.
There's some of those mechs in there. Like a 20-tonner with double heat sinks is really hard to do because you have a 160 engine. You still have to put like 7 of your heat sinks in your crit slots. So it makes things a little difficult.
It also still overheats because it has 13 jump.
Oh, Jesus.
With an XXL engine, so it still overheats.
I think the Clint 2C.
And a lot of those mechs are garrison mechs from the Scorpion Empire later on.
Yeah.
Clint 2C, LB10X, 2ER medium. It's gonna run odd. It is gonna run odd.
Bear Cub that gets made in the dark days of the Jihad, so they kind of had to use the single heat sinks they had to hand.
The Kraken XR is interesting. It's on the list, but it uses laser heat sinks.
Okay, it probably came out as anything that does. No, it's not anything that doesn't have, because there's other mechs with laser heat sinks that were not brought on that list. Oh well, we're gonna cut it short at this point.
The bottom line is the amount is very low compared to those that have clan doubles.
Yes. And I mean, some of those are. The Clint 2C is commonly found in clan blood spirit. That is an unfortunate statement if I've ever seen one.
Not at all.
That is an unfortunate statement if I've ever seen one.
Don't the Snow Ravens get it?
Adders, Buroks. I mean, everybody's probably has a couple, but it's not a common mech.
I was going to say, the Snow Ravens just ate everybody's corpses. So
you are never free. You are never truly safe from the Blood Asp.
But the Blood Asp had double heat sinks, because if the Blood Asp had single heat sinks with all those heavy lasers,
the amount of very hot weapons they mount on it, it may as well have single heat sinks with its schizophrenic range brackets.
All right, I'll see everybody later. Like I said, I'll Toko tomorrow, and thank you very much for watching. See you later. Bye bye.
See ya.
Easy, y'all.